Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen's, boys and girls, children of all ages, Catholics, Christians, Orthodox, all who want to be entertained or even seek the truth. Anyways, just so we can enjoy this beautiful pinky rainbowy month. Of course, I told you about the rainbow. It's actually a symbol of God's covenant with Noah. But anyways, those who seek to pervert God's covenant are aplenty, and it is the month of the alphabet people. And because, of course, we have many of their allies in the hierarchy of God's church, like Judas Iscariot was one of the a high priest in in God's church. Uh, anyways, but so now we have Cardinal Blase Cupich of Chicago. Anyways, who's this guy? And of course, it's not the month of the Sacred Heart. No, it's the month of the LMNOP, Pride, and, Alphabet People month with all the joy of their activities. Anyways, so who's this guy? Anyway, I don't. Again, it's a 10-minute video. Make it quick and fast, not 3 hours like I like to do. But anyway, so what did he do as in a historical sense? So you know who this guy is. Can't dwell on it, but anyways, so in 2004, as bishop, Cupich banned children from receiving their first Holy Communion in the Tridentine Mass or being confirmed in the traditional form. In 2002, Cupich prohibited traditional Mass communities from celebrating the Paschal Triduum liturgies according to the 1962 form of the Roman Rite. See the love of that. Now you know their mentality. They hate the Roman Rite because it passes on the same old faith and the same old discipline and the rigidity of the apostles. And of course, Cupich as well did not join the bishops who wanted to forbid giving communion to pro-abortion politicians. It's not very loving. We shouldn't be doing that. And he even discouraged his seminarians in 2011 from joining demonstrations in front of the Planned Parenthood clinics or supporting 40 Days of Life. Now we know if you don't support life, what do you support? The exact opposite of life. You reach your own conclusions. And of course, he favored switching against all of history from facing God in the East to facing the people in the Mass. He lamented those who wanted the ancient rite. He promoted non-Western inculturation, meaning aka paganization of the liturgy. That's fine and dandy. That's all good as long as it's not the ancient Roman rite. And of course, he when the same-sex referendum in 2012 happened in Washington State, of course, he wrote his letter, talking about it's a matter of equality and so forth. Yeah. So, anyways, that is, and of course, he participated in the Synod of the Family, where we get the Amoris Laetitia document, I believe. There, he supported proposals to provide a path for remarried persons to participate in communion and to respect the decision of those who remarry or gays in relationships make about their spiritual lives. So basically, anybody and everybody is willing to, whether you practice the faith, you believe in the moral standards of God, it doesn't matter. Just come and eat and drink judgment upon yourself, as St. Paul says. That's okay. And of course, he wanted to restrict the ancient Roman liturgy. That is Cupich. And of course, he would support any and every form, as he said, the inculturation of non-Western things. Of course, meaning, as I said, the paganization of the liturgy, from every form, from Hinduism, paganism, of course. And of course, Cupich had, he permits, high profile of our loving community, the LGBT plus Q LMNOP XYZ 123 community, high profile masses in his diocese, while prohibiting the ancient Roman Rite, you know. And of course, as I said, the he has the promoting Hindu practices in the liturgy of he himself celebrating. Very, very Catholic, very, very apostle. Can you see St. Peter and St. Paul and St. John the Apostle allowing the customs of the Greeks and the worship of their gods into the Eucharistic liturgy? You can always imagine that, of course. And of course, you can see him in here and quickly, all these restrictions, restricting the traditional Roman Rite, promoting the clampdown on the ancient liturgy by our loving and most dear and most merciful and the humblest of humble people, Pope Francis. And of course, and that is all. And of course, promoting the exact opposite of that, because that's all and good and fan and dandy. And, anyways, so this is the kind of man we have here, and so we can see this article, and it is coming up this weekend. So Chicago Archbishop Blase Cupich set to lead mass for LGBTQ plus Catholics. This weekend, the mass is organized by LGBTQ plus Catholic group Aglo Chicago, will take place at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. So I suggest a lot to all real Catholics to be there. Do not disturb, do not make a big fuss. Stand around the church, pray your rosaries, hold placards, quoting scripture from St. Paul, from God himself in the Old Testament, from Jesus himself saying to follow the commandments. The way to have life is to follow the commandments. That's the way of Jesus. And who is this group? Aglo Chicago. Aglo Chicago is the Archdiocesan Gay and Lesbian Outreach of Chicago. So, and of course, you want to join them for the 35th year service of Chicago's Roman Catholic community. Because, I praise you, Lord, because I am wonderfully made as I am. When I don't follow your commandments, when I spit in your face and in the face of your Son. And you can see here in these images what they are promoting. So, of course, it is join the Aglo Chicago in celebration of 35 years of service to Chicago's LGBTQ plus Roman Catholic faithful. So they're so faithful that they reject the very teaching of the church for 2,000 years and of Judaism for another 3,000 years and of all sanity. That's fine. You are cordially invited to commemorate the 35th anniversary of Aglo Archdiocesan Gay and Lesbian Outreach Chicago with a special mass celebrated by His Eminence Cardinal Blase J. Cupich, Archbishop of Chicago, followed by a reception at Casey Hall, June 18th, 2023, Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, 708 West Belmont Avenue. Mass is at 7 p.m. Reception is at 8:15 to 9:30. So, let us join in this beautiful celebration of human love, because love doesn't know any boundaries. And you see from this image what they are trying to insinuate here. The one whom Jesus loved. Spring retreat series, May 24th to June 16th, 2023. And the retreat partners are Loyola Catholic University of Chicago. Without me saying, what this is meant to insinuate. This is basically blasphemy. Anyways, let's continue. So, finally, here it is, back to where we started. The LGBTQ Cardinal Cupich will lead Mass. So the Archbishop of Chicago is scheduled to lead Sunday Mass Lakeview this weekend to help the LGBTQ Catholic group celebrate 35 years of service. Okay. So it says exactly what I said before. And this organization was created by former Cardinal Joseph Bernardin. Again, one of the worst, horriblest Catholic cardinals in the history of the church, who invented the seamless garment doctrine, which is like, oh yeah, murder is like offending somebody, telling them a bad word, and so it's, yeah, there is no difference between somebody who steals. There is no difference between poverty and the execution of preborn children. It's all the seamless garments. The poverty. This, you gotta care for this as much for the poor as much as for this. There is no difference. There is a difference, and of course. The mass will be no different than a typical Catholic mass, which means, of course, a bunch of garbage, like Novus Ordo, whatever they do. Angela Rossi Aguilo, co-director, said in a statement. And of course, you're going to find the men holding hands with their boyfriends and their husbands, and the same thing with the women. And in the kiss of peace, we can imagine what's going to happen at the kiss of peace. All right. So that the cardinal has offered. So what is special about it is that the cardinal has offered. So Cardinal Cupich himself is the one who offered to celebrate the Mass as the main celebrant, to show his support for our community of faith while we live lives which are diametrically opposed to the will and commands of God himself. Anyways, so it says, so Rossi, this organizer, says, during those years, we have been blessed to have Cardinal Bernardin and Cardinal George celebrate Mass with us. So they celebrate Mass. So the Mass is not celebrated by the priest, and the people are assisting, are participating through the priest in the sacrifice. No, the Mass is celebrated with us. So in case the priest or bishop is, the Mass can be celebrated by them themselves, I guess. It's the lay church of the future. And that is it. So we have here, the Mass is being held this coming weekend in Chicago. And for the LMNOPQXYZ123 community of faith, who live their lives in faith according to their will, because their conscience says it's all good, it's all okay, it's all good, man, it's all good. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And actually, remember, the rainbow is God's sign of the covenant between Noah and himself. Let us reclaim the true meaning of the rainbow and restore it as a beautiful children's symbol. And remember to keep the month of June as the month of Jesus Christ and his love, his true love, and his sacred heart, not the perversion of the sexual act, and calling it joy and goodness. That's it. That's all. See you next time. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. Bye-bye.